And just to make sure the tea sunk, they got into rowboats and they went out into Boston Harbor with oars and they broke all the casks and they broke all the tea. They made sure it all sank so that this King of England, George III, could not get a penny out of the deal. And they kept saying, taxation without representation is tyranny. And through the committees of correspondence that spread all over the coast, every one of the 13 colonies were then yelling out, taxation without representation is tyranny. And then the king got mad and he sent a whole bunch of soldiers in to take over Boston, my old town. I used to live up in Boston. He sent all these British soldiers in to take over Boston. They made a mistake. Somebody threw a snowball at them and they killed 5 people. That's what happens when tyranny gets too far, when you give them more than an inch. And the next thing you know, people all over the United States were saying taxation without representation is tyranny. And that was the saying that started the Revolutionary War that got the colonists their freedom. And they did a Declaration of Independence and they put in the Constitution. Now we've got a whole bunch of guys that are trying to tear it apart in front of us.
Help us see the truth. This is only the beginning. And you're the living, loving proof. Hear my prayer. We can lead the world to freedom, build a future bold and new, always reaching for the heavens, but never touching them without you.
You got to get the right wing extremists here too.
Talk show host on WOKP, board certified pediatric and adult neurologist, and the author of the book, One Man, Does the American Man Still Have What It Takes? Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming to the stage, Dr. Jim Needham!
How y'all doing? I'm so proud. I thought he could take the colonists and make the colonies of the United States his personal piggy bank. And he could tax the colonists here in America and use our money to pay for his wars with France. And he had a parliament, sort of like a Congress, that was out of touch and totally incompetent. And between that king and that Congress, they tried to mess with the Americans. And they learned to listen. You don't mess with Americans. They say you don't mess with Texas, but they're just Americans, so that figures, all right? And there was a meeting just like this. And there was some guy in Boston Harbor standing up here telling all the Americans, all the colonists, but they weren't Americans yet, told all the colonists, the competent Congress, trying to figure out what to do with themselves and do what, take our money, take your money.